everybody, and welcome. We are so glad you are here for day one of the Aligned Leadership Series. And today we're talking about a subject that sounds simple on the surface, but it's actually one of the most important conversations a founder, a creator, or an entrepreneur can have. I mean, today we are talking about why your work matters. Not just what you do and not just how you market it, but why this work matters, why it matters to you, why it matters to the people you are here to serve, and why understanding that changes everything. So before we begin, I just want to acknowledge something. Your time is valuable. And I know there are 1,000 things that you could be doing right now. And the fact that you chose to be here tells me something about you. It tells me that some part of your work is more than checking boxes off your list or posting content or trying a few new marketing strategies and hoping something sticks. It tells me that some part of you knows your work is connected to something deeper. So if that feels true for you, type deeper in the chat. Just take a few seconds here. Yes, beautiful. And here's what I want to say at the beginning. This is not a hype session. This is not a business bro masterclass. And it certainly is not one of those conversations where we pretend that purpose means you never have to think about money or structure or leadership or results. We believe business can be a spiritual practice. And if that's true, then how you build matters. Why you build matters. And who you become while building matters. So Kayla, I want to start right here. Why do you think that so many people who are deeply gifted, deeply caring, big-hearted, and genuinely called to help others still struggle to build work that feels clear, aligned, and powerful?
Thanks, Joy. I would say it's because so many people are trying to build the outer thing before they focus on the inner thing. So you've got people who are trying to build offers before they understand their own identity. They're trying to scale before they understand their purpose. And they're trying to be visible and out there in the world before they're actually rooted and grounded. This has those same people wondering why they feel scattered. And that scattered feeling is a scary place to be as a business owner. This is why I think they second guess everything. They keep changing their direction. And why they're busy all the time, but it doesn't really feel like they're building momentum. So I want to ask everybody on the call, if you feel like you've ever been in a place where you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying to figure out what sticks, type me in the chat. So if that is you, good news, because that's what we're here to talk about today. I think it's not actually a strategy problem, it's a clarity problem. And that clarity problem exists for a few reasons. One is that you don't know exactly who you're here to help. Two is because you don't trust yourself at the level in which you're being called to play at in this field, in this moment, to serve these people. And number three is because you've actually mistaken movement and doing something for alignment to your purpose. And in that case, you don't really need more noise and more tasks and more emails to respond to or to check. What you need is a deeper relationship with the truth of what you're building and your why. So write this down. The quality of what I build will never outgrow the clarity of who I'm becoming. Write it down. And if that hits you, like it feels like it was said for you, just put a 1 in the chat.
All right, let's slow this down and make it personal. take out a notebook or open a note on your computer. We're going to do a short reflection, and I want you to write down the answer to these 3 questions. But first, write the questions down. Question number 1, what kind of work do I feel called to build? Question number 2, why does this matter to me personally? Question number 3, what part of me comes alive when I do this work? Okay, now don't worry about sounding smart and don't write what you think you should say. Let it flow from your heart. Write what is actually true.
Yes. And we're going to give you 2 minutes here. So there's a few things I want you to pay attention to. I want you to notice when you're writing, where do you feel clear? Where do you feel foggy? And where do you feel emotion in general? Because often your calling will leave clues in what moves you. And feeling clear or foggy or emotions about something is an alignment. And if you're tapped into that and you're aware of it, that is a clue to something that moves you.
Okay, come back with us. And if you want, drop one word in the chat that describes how your work feels when it's aligned. Just one word only. Yeah, right? Look at that. Meaningful, alive, peaceful, honest, expansive. I mean, that right there tells you that this conversation matters. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking purpose is just about the topic. I mean, they think purpose means I'm meant to help with healing, or I'm meant to help people with money, or leadership, or relationships, or I'm meant to create content that inspires people. And yes, maybe all of that is true, but purpose is not just the category of your work. Purpose is all about the identity you are being asked to step into because of the work. The work is one thing. Who you must become to hold the work is another. And that's actually the exciting part. Some of you are not only being called to build a business, you're being called to be more visible or more disciplined or, I don't know, more courageous, more responsible with your influence. And that's why this journey can feel so intense, because the work's not just asking you to produce, It's asking you to transform. So if that resonates, write this down. Write this down. My work is not only revealing what I do, it's revealing who I will become. Write that down. And I want to ask you something. What identity have you already outgrown? Just in thinking about this. Go ahead and comment in the chat with one thing you know you are no longer available for. I know for me, it was playing small or being vague. Or here's a good one for spiritual entrepreneurs, undercharging or hiding or trying to be everything to everyone or waiting for permission, waiting for your guides to tell you. Maybe your guides already did tell you. So what are you no longer available for?
This moment is where I want to go deeper with you guys and girls. If we only talk about purpose in an inspirational way, people will leave this call feeling good for about 24 hours, and then they're going to slip right back into the confusion. Let's talk about the cost of misalignment. When your work is disconnected from your real purpose, the cost is not always immediate. Sometimes it can look like burnout or content that you're really excited about that you post and you don't get any reactions or engagements. It can look like making offers that you think people are going to be excited about, but nobody responds to or purchases. It can also look like resentment about all the time you're investing for the clients you do have and the customers you do have, or resentment that you're working at something that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel aligned with what you're actually trying to put out into the world. It can also look like, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, I'm only speaking from my experience, being productive all day, but still feeling like you've done nothing that was actually productive. And then I like this one probably the best. It can look like climbing the wrong mountain very efficiently. You've made it to the top of that mountain and you can say that you've made it there, but when you look out, you realize, oh, this is not my mountain. So let me go through this again because I think it really matters. You can be disciplined and still be misaligned. You can be talented and still be misaligned. You can be making money and good money and still be misaligned. You can be successful on paper and still know deep down that something is off and you're misaligned. Ouch. If you've ever had success in one area and still thought that's not quite it, I'd love for you to type off in the chat. That's the conversation that I see most people avoiding. So a lot of business spaces worship their metrics and they don't ask whether they're building the right thing or not. They're just looking at their metrics. Some spiritual businesses and spaces talk about purpose without helping you make grounded business decisions. We want both. You need both. So write this down. Misalignment costs more than failure because it steals time, energy, trust, momentum. And those are my most valuable resources.
All right, let's do a quick reset together. I want you to draw a line down the middle of your page. Okay, and on the left side, write what drains me. And then on the right side, write what strengthens me. Now, think about your work as it exists today. What parts of your work consistently drain you because they are just so out of alignment? And what parts consistently strengthen you because they're connected to who you really are.
And be honest here. This is not about avoiding challenge. Some things are still hard and aligned. It can be both. This is about noticing the difference between hard because it's stretching me and hard because it's not mine. Take 2 minutes.
Okay, now circle one item from the right side, from the strengthens me side, that you believe is a clue to your deeper work. That one thing might be the thread. I mean, that one thing might be the place where your business starts to become coherent. Okay, here's another hard truth. Meaningful work does not only ask for vision. It asks for responsibility, because if your work matters, then it will eventually ask you for better boundaries, clearer communication, stronger decision-making, a deeper willingness to be seen, and a greater capacity to lead. And this is why we say business is a spiritual practice, because business will show you your patterns. It will show you your fears. It will show you where you're attached. It's also going to show you where you do not trust yourself yet. And if you let it, it will also refine you. So some of you have been asking for expansion, but what expansion requires is a version of you that is more rooted than the one who started. And that's not punishment. That's just preparation. So if you believe your work has been shaping you as much as you've been shaping it, type preparation in the chat.
I really want to bring this down into something that's very practical and something I notice all the time. One of the easiest ways you can waste time in your business is to move too quickly without clarity. And what that looks like is people who build too soon. They post too soon. They package their offers too soon. They expand their business too soon. And then they have to walk it backwards and rebuild because their foundation was so shaky. It was built quickly and with that feeling of urgency and not in alignment. This is really one of the things we see over and over and over. When someone gets clear on who they help, what problem they truly care about solving, why their work matters and what kind of results they actually want to create, their message changes, their offer changes, their audience changes, and sometimes even the level that they're willing to play at and work from and exist in with their business changes. So I want you to write down these questions. I'm going to post them here, and you can take a screenshot if you'd like. Who do I feel deeply equipped and genuinely energized to help? What problem do I actually care enough to solve over and over and over? What result do I want my work to be known for? If I stopped hiding, what level would I really build towards? Don't answer these quickly. They're not small questions. They're foundation questions. They need to be true. You could even write them down now, write your answers down, walk away, and don't look at it for 2 or 3 days and come back and answer them again and see what's different. This is not something I would say, that exercise of doing it now and doing it again later. This is not something where you're trying to trick your subconscious into expecting more the second time. It's to see really how aligned are you, and be brutal here. Because why would you build something that you know you're going to have to change later, or that's really not in alignment and it's not your mountain? And I'll say this lovingly. If you skip these questions, you might still build something amazing, but there's a very good chance you'll have to rebuild it later. And Joy and I know all about the cost of doing so. Time, resources, trust. Our teams trust in us, our clients, our customers trust in us. It's more than just moving fast for the sake of moving fast. It's moving toward alignment for the sake of your purpose and your mission.
So by now, you got to be realizing something. This is not a one-note conversation. This is not the kind of work you process once and then move on. This is the kind of work that deepens as you deepen, because purpose gets clearer when you're in the right conversations. Identity gets stronger when you're supported in telling the truth. And meaningful work gets built when people have a place to integrate what they're learning instead of consuming and forgetting. And this is exactly why we created Conscious Creators Circle.
Yes, and CCC is for the person that knows they're here to build something real and inspiring and moving, and to create that movement that's aligned with their purpose and the light that their lighthouse is here to shine. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to be ready for the biggest scale or jump in your business. You can know that your work matters. You can be sure that you are here to build something deep, and that you are ready but not quite ready to launch, or you're ready to launch but you know more than anything you cannot do it alone, that you need a chair at a table in a room that supports clarity, alignment, and grounded growth. Inside the Conscious Creator Circle, the goal is not to throw more noise at you. The goal is to help you get clear, stay connected to your purpose, build from alignment, and develop the kind of inner and outer foundation that meaningful work actually requires. So I'd like to ask you directly, if today helped you to realize that your next step is not more random strategy or throwing spaghetti at the wall, but instead it's deeper clarity and a stronger foundation, could you type CCC in the chat for me?
And if that's you, we want to invite you into the circle, not because you need one more thing to buy, but because the kind of work you're here to build deserves a real container. Okay, so before we close, I want to leave you with this. Your work matters not just because it could make money, and not because it could become visible, and not because it can grow. Your work matters because there's a way that life wants to move through you. And that is so important. There's a way that your experience, your voice, your perspective, your wisdom, your gifts, and yes, even your struggles can become service. And when that gets distorted or delayed or buried, something is lost. You'll feel it in your body. And not only for you, but for the people who are meant to encounter what you're here to build.
So please, hear us, because I get you and I understand, and I've seen so many people just like you, and I want you to be in the room with those people. We're here, we're there for you and for each other. Hear me out, okay? Don't minimize what is stirring inside of you. Don't dismiss the part of yourself that knows there's more and that the world needs that from you. Don't also keep trying to build your meaningful life and this purpose of a lighthouse for others from a fractured and fragmented foundation. Because if you feel confused, you know your audience feels confused. Come do your work in a room, in a space, at a table with a chair for you that honors both depth and direction and the perfect synchronicities between the two. That is what CCC is for.
So if you're ready for the next step, join us inside Conscious Creator Circle. We would love to support you there. And before you go, drop one sentence in the chat. What matters more to me about my work now than it did before this event? We want to hear it. Put it in the chat.